to yoga. My name is Jillian. So today we're going to be doing an hour-long Hatha yoga class. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. We're going to get nice and warm, nice and stretched out. We'll also do some deep breathing and some relaxation. This is Ruby. She wanted to join me today, so she gets to kind of hang out with us as we do our yoga today. So today we're going to be doing a lot of heart opening poses to really open up the chest, since everybody's been so scrunched over looking at their phones and at their computers over the past several weeks. I think it would be really nice to open up the chest a lot. So we're going to do that today. You might need a few props. I have blocks, a yoga strap, a blanket, and a bolster. These are obviously yoga props. So if you don't have these at home, that's okay. You can use books instead of blocks, or a box or something like that, something sturdy that you can put your weight onto, but also that you can use to help bring the floor up to you. For a strap, you can use a scarf, a belt, a t-shirt, anything long that you have around. A blanket, any throw blanket would work. And instead of a bolster, you can use any sort of pillow. So that's what I have available to me today. I don't know if we'll use all of it, and you certainly don't have to have all of it, but it can help for some of the modifications that I'll probably be showing you today. So we're going to get it started. We're going to begin laying down on our backs in Shavasana. I'm going to modify this a little bit, so we're not going to be fully on our backs in Shavasana. We're really going to be on our backs with our knees bent. So we're going to come down to the back, get nice and comfortable, bend the knees, bring the feet as wide as your mat, and then rest the knees in together. Hands can come to the belly, or you can bring them down to your sides if that's more comfortable. But if you bring them up to the belly, it'll really help you to feel your breath. You can gently close the eyes, or maybe just keep them nice and soft. And start to feel the body relaxing down onto the floor. Feel yourself melting into the mat. Feeling your awareness now coming to the entire back of the body. All the spaces that are touching the floor. The feet, the back of the hips, the entire length of the spine, back of the shoulders, backs of the arms, and the back of the head. The entire back of the body, all those points touching here. Just noticing those spaces, noticing that pressure between the floor and your body. And becoming aware of any tension that you're holding in your back, your hips, shoulders, neck. Maybe starting to let some of that go. And a little bit of relaxation. I'm going to start to bring the awareness now to the sounds that you hear around you. Just listening to the sounds in the room. Allowing your consciousness to bounce from sound to sound. Staying on any sound, just letting yourself hear what's around you, noticing it. take that awareness closer, just begin to notice your own breath. I'm not going to change anything about the breath right now. We're just going to notice it, become aware of it. Noticing the rise and fall of your belly as you inhale and exhale. Noticing the expansion in the chest. Noticing the sound of the breath. Becoming aware of the cool inhale and the warm exhale. Just noticing all the aspects of your breath. Fast or slow, deep or shallow, smooth or choppy. Just notice the breath. Become aware of it. And staying here on our backs, noticing the breath. Let's start to elongate our breath. And the way that we're going to do that today is we're going to inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 6. So really creating a long exhale, which helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system and help to calm you down and relax you. So we'll take a big inhale together and a big exhale. One more time, nice big inhale and exhale. Inhale and expand the belly out. And exhale. Let the belly fall. And now we'll begin to expand that breath to the count. And as you do so, make sure that you are inhaling and expanding the belly out, and exhaling and letting the belly fall. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. And as slow as you can, exhale all the way out. And now allow yourself to come back to your normal breath rhythm. Just notice how you're feeling. Notice how your body is feeling. Notice your state of mind. From here, we're going to roll onto one side, curl into a little ball. You can use your breaths right here. Keeping the eyes closed or soft, press the top hand into the floor. Slowly start to drag yourself all the way up to sit. You're going to come to sit with legs crossed, if possible. If not, you can extend them out in front of you, but if you can come to a cross-legged position, that would be ideal. We're going to bring our hands up to heart center, pressing the thumb knuckles up against the sternum. Press the thumbs together and the pinky fingers together, and then we're going to open up the middle three fingers, index finger, middle finger, and ring finger, all separate from one another, opening up, creating this lotus flower shape, like a blooming flower at our heart center. This beautiful, blooming, open flower. We're going to come to our sankalpa, or intention for today. Intention is something that we focus on throughout our yoga practice. Positive statement, something that you'd like to be true. And it can be anything you want to focus on. My offering for you today is my heart is open. My heart is open. If that resonates with you, just repeat it in your head a few times. If you'd like to focus on something else today, that's okay too. But just repeat that intention in your head a few times as well. My heart is open. And gently release your hands, bring them back down to your thighs or your knees. Gently open the eyes. Take a big breath in and all the way out. Another big breath in and out. So get yourself nice and comfortable with a nice tall spine. We're going to roll the shoulders open, opening up the chest. Inhale as the shoulders come up. Exhale as you roll them back and down. Inhale. Exhale. One more time around. Good. We're going to go the opposite direction. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. Take the hands and we're going to reach them all the way up overhead. Good. Right hand comes down next to the right hip. Keeping the left arm up overhead, we're going to start to reach over to the right, pressing the left hip down, stretching the left side of the body, keeping that chest nice and wide open. Keep breathing. Raise yourself back up to center. Both hands come all the way up overhead, and then we're going to take the left hand down next to the left hip, keeping that right arm all the way up, reaching over to the left, stretching the right side of the body. Keeping the chest wide, pressing the right hip down. Center. Both hands up overhead. We're going to bring our fingers together, reaching all the way up overhead, opening up the chest nice and wide. And then take the arms all the way out to the side, nice and wide, palms facing forward, reaching behind you as much as you can. Open up the chest. We're going to cross the arms, right arm on top, left arm below. Give yourself a nice big hug. And reach the arms nice and wide again. Reach back, spread the fingertips away from each other. Big open wide chest, nice tall spine. Give yourself another big hug this time, switching the arms. Good, open up the chest nice and wide. Bring those arms all the way out to the side. One last time, reach those fingertips as far away as you can. Open the chest. And then bring the hands to heart center. Good. We're going to switch the cross of the legs. So go to the other side. So switch the way that your legs are crossed. We're going to bring our left hand to the right knee. Right hand comes behind the hips. Get your spine nice and tall and then start to twist the shoulders over to the right. So twisting the shoulders first and then starting to rotate the head over to the right. Keep the spine tall. Slow breaths. Start to unwind, come back to center. We're going to take the right hand to the left knee. The left hand comes behind the hips. Get the spine tall. And then start to rotate the shoulders over to the left. And then you can start to rotate the head. Nice tall spine. Big breath here. And then come back to center. Then we're going to walk the fingertips forward, release the low back a little bit. Keeping the back flat. Okay, walk yourself all the way back up. And then we're going to swing ourselves around so that we can come to tabletop. So I'm going to use a blanket to pad my knees here. I'm on a carpet, so that kind of helps too, but I always like to pad my knees when I'm on tabletop. Alright, so we got our knees right underneath the hips. Wrists are right underneath the shoulders. Fingers are spread wide, pressing into the thumb side of the hand. Belly's in, spine's long and flat. So from here, we're going to start to rotate the body and sort of circle ourselves around. So we're going to press the hips over to the right, press the hips back toward the heels, press the hips over to the left, and then forward. So all the way around in a circle. As much as you'd like to. You can take this movement really big, or you can make it a little bit smaller, whatever feels good for you. Good, we're going to go around in the opposite direction this time, so hips to the left, back toward the heels, hips to the right, and then forward and around. Nice and slow, as big or as small as you'd like, whatever feels good here. And one more time around. Good, coming all the way back to center. Making sure those knees are right underneath the hips and the wrists are underneath the shoulders. Okay, I'm gonna move my bolster out of the way because I'm gonna need a little bit of room here. All right, so we're gonna take the toes of the left foot back out behind us, keeping the toes on the ground. Press into the heel. Stretch the calf. So maybe you press back your weight back toward the heel. Pressing into that calf. Bring your weight forward again, and then we're going to sweep the leg out to the right, placing the sole of the foot on the floor. I know you can't see it because my dog's in the way. So So the sole of the foot is on the floor. You can start to look over to the right if you'd like to. Stretching that inner thigh, maybe up the left side of the body. If this doesn't feel like it's enough, you can come down to forearms, or maybe even come all the way down. Whatever works for you. So find what works for your body. A couple breaths here. On your forearms, come back up to hands. We're going to sweep the foot back behind us and then cross it over to the left, keeping the toes on the floor, looking over the left shoulder. Again, only going as far as feels good. Stretching up the right side of the body, maybe even into the left hip. Couple breaths. Yourself back to center. When you feel stable here at center, you can start to raise the right heel up toward the sky, bringing the leg parallel with the floor. Keeping the belly in for support, we're going to tiptoe the fingers of the left hand forward. And if you want to, you can even raise that left hand up like you're shaking somebody's hand. Stretch the fingertips forward, the heel backward, elongating the spine, keeping the belly in for support. One more breath here. Good, bring the hand and knee back down to the mat. Big toes come to touch, knees come wide, come back into child's pose. Maybe roll the wrists out. One more breath. And walk yourself all the way back up. Coming back into that tabletop. Take the toes of the left leg long behind you, keeping them on the floor. Press into the heel to stretch the calf. Back forward, sweep the leg out to the left, place the sole of the foot onto the floor, maybe look over to the left, and if you'd like to, you can come down to forearms, or all the way down. Wherever you feel comfortable. You're on forearms, come back up to your hands. Then we're going to take the left leg, sweep it back behind us and then over to the right, keeping the toes on the floor, looking over toward the right side of the body, stretching up the left side of the body and also into the right hip. Good. One more breath right here. Sweep the leg back to center. When you feel stable, you can raise the left heel up, bringing the left leg parallel with the floor. Maybe if you want to, you can take those fingertips on the right hand forward. And maybe even raise up the right hand like you're shaking somebody's hands. Extend the fingers forward, extend the heel back. One more breath here. Bring the hand and knee down to the mat. Big toes touch, knees come wide. Press back into child's pose. While you're here in child's pose, come back to that intention. My heart is open. If you can't bring your head down all the way down to the mat in child's pose, you can always place something underneath your head for support, like a block or a pillow. One more breath right here. Walk yourself all the way back up to tabletop. Get those hips right over the knees. There we go. We're going to start to walk our hands forward, bringing the chest down toward the mat for puppy dog pose. And if you can't bring your chest all the way down to the mat, you can take a block or a pillow or whatever you have available and rest your head just on that block. So hips are staying right over the knees and the chest is coming down. Arms are extended long. Really big stretch in the shoulders, really big stretch in the chest. Opening up that chest wide. My heart is open. Two more big breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Start to walk yourself back into tabletop. Maybe switch the hips from side to side a little bit. Roll the wrists. So we're going to walk our hands forward just slightly. Curl the toes under, and then start to bring the hips up toward the ceiling as the heels come down toward the mat. Coming into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Belly's in, pressing into the hands, pressing into the knuckles of the fingers, spreading the fingers wide. Your heels don't have to come down toward the mat. You want to be pressing yourself backwards, so hips are pressing back toward the heels. Belly's in, ribs are down, so you're not sticking your chest out. One nice flat back. One more breath here. Good. Start to bring the weight forward so shoulders come over wrists into plank. A couple breaths right here in plank. If this is too much for you, you can always bring the knees down to the mat. One more breath in and out. Press yourself back into downward facing dog. Here in downward dog, you can start to get some movement into that downward facing dog. So bend one knee and straighten the other. And you can switch back and forth. If you ever feel like this is too much, you can always come back down into child's pose. So whenever anything is starting to feel like it's just a little bit too difficult, always take a rest. So back in our downward facing dog. Gonna come back to stillness here. Raise the right heel up toward the sky for three-legged dog. Both hips are facing down toward the mat. Bend the right knee, start to open the hips up toward the side, stacking one hip on top of the other, trying to bring that chest down toward the mat. So we're not pulling the chest to the side, you want the chest to come down, but the hips are twisted to the side. So nice big open chest. Again, my heart is open. Big wide open chest. Feel that beauty shine out from your heart. Then bring yourself back to center. Keep that knee bent. Bend the knee in toward the chest and then set it through to the front of the mat. If you can't do that, you can always grab it and bring it forward, pull it forward. So we're in this lunge. We're gonna bring the back knee down to the mat, uncurl the toes, and start to lift the heart, opening up the chest. Your hands can be on the floor. You can hold them up on blocks. Hand can come to your knee, wherever you're comfortable. If you really want to open the chest here, you can always bring those arms nice and wide up overhead. Or out, even out to the side. Just do what feels good. Keeping the belly in, chest wide, spine long. Bring your hand, if you're down, start to bring yourself up. We're gonna bring our hands to heart center and press ourselves back a little bit so that we're not dumping too far into that front knee. And then from here, we're gonna start to twist over to the right. So twisting the shoulders over to the right. Hands can stay at heart center or you can open them up to the side. This is gonna take a lot of balance. Right here. Find something to look at, a couple breaths. Good, bring yourself all the way back to center. We're gonna bring our hands back down to the mat, curl the back toes under, come up off the back knee, step the right foot back to meet the left, back into downward facing dog. And again, here you can start to move in your downward facing dog, bend one knee and then the other. Come back to stillness. And then this time we're going to take the left heel up toward the ceiling. Keeping both hips pointed down toward the mat right now. Good, bend the left knee, open the left hip up, stack one hip on top of the other, keep the chest rotated down toward the mat. My heart is open. Radiate that beauty, that beautiful light out into the room. Come back to center, keep the knee bent, bend the knee in toward the chest, shift your right forward, step the left foot up. If you need to, you can always grab and pull it forward. Back knee comes down to the mat, uncurl the toes, open up the chest. Hands can be on the mat, on blocks, on your front knee, or open up. Keep the belly in. Chest wide, spine long. Good. If you're down all the way, you can start to bring yourself up. And then we're going to take our hands to heart center. Press yourself back a little bit so that you're not dumping into that front knee. Get the spine tall, start to twist over to the left. And then if you'd like to, you can open up the arms, opening up the chest wide. One more breath here. Come back to center. Bring the hands back down to the mat. Curl the back toes under. Come up off the back knee. Step left foot back to meet the right, back into downward facing dog. Again, if you need a break at any time, you can always come to child's pose. Here in our downward facing dog, we're going to bend both knees, bring the weight forward, bring the knees down toward the mat, but don't let them touch. And then press yourself back into downward facing dog. Bend both knees, bring your weight forward, bring the knees down toward the mat. Don't let them touch. And then press back. One last time, bring the knees down toward the mat, bending your knees. Don't let them touch. And press back into downward facing dog. Shift your weight forward so shoulders come over wrists into plank. Slowly start to lower yourself down toward the mat. If you need to drop your knees, you can. All the way down to the mat. Uncurl the toes, keeping the hands right underneath the shoulders. Press yourself up into cobra, as high or as low as you want to go. So you can be in a little baby cobra, or you can be all the way up, or somewhere in between, wherever you want to be. Nice wide chest. Take a breath here. Lower all the way back down to the mat. Maybe rock the hips a little bit. Press the hands into the mat. Lift yourself up. Shoulders are rolling back. Chest is wide, looking forward. Coming up only as high as feels good for your back. Pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, tops of the thighs into the mat. Couple breaths here. And lower all the way back down. Maybe rock the hips from side to side. Pressing yourself back up into tabletop. And we're going to come back into downward facing dog. So hands come forward a little bit, curl the toes under, back into downward facing dog. And then like you're walking on a tightrope, walk the feet all the way up to meet the hands in the front of the mat. You can use a block if you'd like to in this forward fold, Uttanasana, or you can just really relax down into it, bending the knees as much as you want. Feeling that spine start to elongate, release. Feeling all those vertebrae separate from one another. Slowly start to roll yourself all the way up to stand. That is the last thing to come up. We'll bring our hands to heart center. Take a breath in. And all the way out. Come back to your intention. Maybe open up those fingertips so that you have that lotus flower blooming at heart center. My heart is open. Is open. So feet are right underneath the hips, pressing into the four corners of inside and outside of ball and heel. We're going to sweep the arms all the way up toward the ceiling and then forward fold. Uttanasana. Get some length in the spine, come up halfway with a flat back. And then lower all the way back down into that forward fold. Bring the weight into the left foot. Step the right foot back to the back of the mat. Rotate the right heel down toward the mat. And then we'll spiral the arms up to come into Warrior Two. Looking forward over that that front middle finger, opening the chest wide, spreading the fingers, pulling the fingertips away from one another, pressing the shoulders down, elongating the neck, belly's in, chest is nice and wide, opening up the heart. Straighten the front knee. We're going to rotate ourselves over to the side. So bring that left foot so that the toes face the side of the mat. Right foot, toes face the side of the mat as well. A nice wide stance here. Big breath in. And exhale as you start to come forward into a forward fold. Bringing the fingertips down to the mat or to a block. Only down as far as feels good. Start to bring yourself all the way back up to stand. Rotating the left toes forward again. Back into our warrior two. Opening the chest wide. Good. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot, come up off the back heel, and then we'll step left foot back to meet the right back into downward facing dog. Bring your weight forward. Take the right knee into the chest. Step it forward. So right foot comes up between the hands. Spiral the left heel down toward the mat. And then we'll open up into warrior two on this side. Fingertips extend out. Shoulders are down. Neck is long. Belly's in. Good. Straighten the front knee. Take both feet out toward the side of the mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Elongate the spine. Take a breath in. And then exhale, start to fold forward. Bring the fingertips to the floor, to a block, wherever you feel comfortable. Start to bring yourself all the way back up to stand. Toes of the right foot point forward toward the front of the mat. Bend the right knee. Come back into warrior two. We're going to cartwheel those hands. Frame the front foot. Come up off the back heel. And then step left foot up to meet right into our forward fold. Start to roll yourself all the way back up to stand. Good. So we're going to come to the center of the mat and move my blanket out of the way. So we always got to do a balance pose in our Hatha yoga. So today we're going to work on tree, our favorite of the balance poses. So we're going to take our weight into the left foot. If you'd like to, you can always move over to a wall if you need a little bit of extra support, if you need to take your fingertips to a wall or a chair. So weight into the left foot. We're going to turn our right knee out to the side, slide the right foot over to the left heel or left can stay right here in tree. You can bring your foot up to the calf, or you can bring your foot up to the inner thigh, just not right on that knee joint. And since we are doing a heart opening class, we're going to take our hands out into cactus, opening up the chest. Find something to look at, a drishti or focal point, keeping the belly in. So looking at something steady and keeping the core engaged will help your balance. One more breath here. And start to let yourself come out. Shake it out a little bit. We're going to find our balance now on the right foot this time. So left knee comes out to the side, slide the left foot over. You can stay right here in tree. Foot can come up to the calf, or you can bring it up to the inner thigh. And again, we're going to open our arms all the way out into cactus, nice wide chest. Shine out into the room, opening the heart. Again, find something to stare at and keep that core engaged. One more breath. Slowly start to come out. We're going to come back to Tadasana. Bring our hands up to heart center. Pressing the thumbs and pinkies together, we'll open up the middle three fingers into our lotus. Come back to our intention. My heart is open. Sweep the arms out to the side, raise them all the way up overhead. Hinge at the hips, come into a forward fold. We're going to bend the knees a lot so that we can start to come down to the mat. Coming to sit, so swing the feet forward. Good. All right. Got two more things for you before we head into Shavasana. So we're going to take a strap or whatever you've chosen to use as a strap today. Wrap it around both feet and then extend both of the legs in front of us. So you can grab onto your strap, holding on nice and tight. Elongate that spine and then start to hinge at the hips, coming forward over the legs. Scooping the belly in. Only as far as feels good to you. If you don't have a strap, you can always just bring your hands to your shins, your thighs, the floor next to your legs, your heels, wherever you can reach. But only come as far as feels good for the hamstrings and the low back. As always, we want to feel a stretch, but no pain. Breaths right here. One more. Slowly start to walk yourself all the way back up. Scoot yourself forward so that you can come down onto your back. I'm actually going to swing myself around so you can see me a little better for this. Laying down on the back, keeping the knees bent. We're going to hug the right knee in toward the chest. And then cross the right ankle over the left knee, bringing the right knee out to the side. You can stay right here. Press the right knee away with your hand or even a block. Or you can thread your hands behind the left thigh and pull both of the legs toward the chest. As long as you can keep both of your shoulders and your head on the mat. So if your head and your shoulders are starting to come up, then you need to back off a little bit so you can bring that head and shoulders back down to the mat. Relaxation through the upper body, opening the chest, keeping that heart open. One more breath here. Start to unwind your legs, bring the soles of both of the feet down to the mat. So maybe tuck the knees from side to side a little bit. Bring the knees back to stillness. We'll hug the left knee in toward the chest. And then cross left ankle over right knee, bringing the left knee out to the side. You can stay right here. Press the left knee away with your hand or maybe a block. Or thread the hands behind the right thigh, pulling both of the legs in toward the chest. Again, keeping the head and shoulders on the mat. Relaxing through the upper body. Opening the heart. My heart is open. Breath here. Unwind yourself. Bring the soles of the feet down to the mat. Maybe tuck the knees from side to side. Bring the knees back to stillness. Hug both knees in toward the chest for Apanasana. Maybe rock from side to side. A low back massage. Back to stillness, bring the feet back down to the mat. From here, we're going to come into Shavasana. So you may want to grab some of your props here to help prop you up and make you feel comfortable. So I'm going to grab my bolster, although you could use a pillow. I'm going to grab a blanket, put that behind my head, get the bolster behind my knees, so I'm nice and comfortable. If it was cold in here, maybe I'd even cover up with a blanket. But if you don't have any of these things, or you don't want any of these things, you can just lay down on your back. Maybe bend your knees and bring the knees in toward one another instead. Whatever feels comfortable for you. So in our corpse pose or Shavasana, get nice and comfortable, adjust your clothing. Feel the body sinking down onto the floor. Feel your body connecting with the earth. Feel relaxation start to infuse the entire body. Imagine your entire body filled with light relaxation, filled with warmth and peace, calm, love, happiness, joy. Feel all those wonderful sensations running through your body, helping you to just melt. And taking this time for yourself to relax, to allow your body to absorb the benefits of your yoga practice. Just to take some time for yourself. You have the right to take this time for yourself. We'll stay here in Shavasana for a few minutes. Just allow our bodies to relax. Stay here for as long as you want in Shavasana. If you feel ready, you can start to wiggle fingers and toes. Wake up a little bit. Stretch a little bit. Don't come out of Shavasana if you're not ready though. Just stay there as long as you want. But if you do feel ready, you can start to wake up. Maybe roll over to the side. Take a breath or two. And then press yourself up to sit. We're going to bring our hands up to heart center once you're in a seated position. Again, don't feel like you have to come out of Shavasana yet. We're going to come back to our intention for today. My heart is open. My heart is open. Jagadam